Welcome back to Stuff and Things. On today's episode, the last episode of the week, we are firstly going to talk about a skeleton, an itty-bitty skeleton, that was recovered 10 years ago, has recently been identified as one of our ancestors.
Also on the show, scientists again confirm something we already know.
And lastly, the Curiosity Rover goes on a road trip.
So first up for today, like we just said, our earliest ancestor has actually been positively identified. It was actually originally found 10 years ago by a farmer in China. Everything's found in China nowadays. And his name, really weird to say, Archibus, which basically just means ancient monkey.
They're wee, tiny, itty-bitty guys at about 20 to 30 grams each, like super tiny. They lived about 55 million years ago, and their modern-day descendants are the Tarsiers family, genome things, yes, which are found in Southeast Asia.
Because the fossil was so fragile, it cannot be extracted from the rock. So the team used a really, really powerful X-ray machine and took really high-resolution photos of the skeleton, and were able to determine, well, everything about it.
And next up, scientists have discovered what was already pretty well known, that forbidden objects are tempting.
Using brain imaging on a group of people, they were able to determine how our brain prioritizes objects we're not allowed to have. Turns out our brains decide to give objects, these forbidden objects, the same priority that we give to our own objects. So we think we already possess them.
And lastly, it's been a pretty exciting year for the Curiosity Rover. It's taken pictures, shot at rocks with the depth laser, but it hasn't really moved around that much. Only 733 meters. That's not a lot.
Well, that's about to change, as a new 8-kilometer road trip is planned for the rover, and it'll be starting next few weeks. The destination will be Mount Sharp. And along the way of getting there, even though 8 kilometers doesn't seem like a lot, they're going to be taking a really windy, turny path. Basically just looking at anything that might come up. And because of that, the trip could take anywhere from 10 months to, well, it could actually take forever. They're not really sure.
There are 2 points of interest on this little trip. The first one is called Point Lake. These guys, who named these things? Like, seriously. That has weird, holy rock things, And then there's an outcrop called the Shaler, which is a possible ancient riverbed. So they're going to check out the possible ancient riverbed and see which direction the water flowed, maybe, and how fast it flowed, maybe.
So guys, what we'd really love to know from you is, what would you do with the Curiosity Rover? Where would you take it so you can take some amazing pictures? Personally, I'd drive right up to Olympus Mons and be above the atmosphere, and I'm sure you can get some amazing pictures up there. Let us know your suggestions and everything on the comments down below.
And if you like what you've seen today, and this week, and so far this month, and this year, let us know by clicking those like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you next week.
On today's episode, we take a look at a very interesting lake off the coast of Australia.
And we see how a meteor stimulated life on Earth.
And to finish things off, why you should be using sunscreen every day.
Duh. We are going to be talking about, well, Google Glasses now has a porn app.
New evidence for our position in the galaxy.
And sadly, it has been discovered that the early bird does not get the worm.